Hey, so today I want to talk about Michael Haneke's 2001 film, The Piano Teacher. Now, this film was actually shown in Cannes, and in there, the main lead actress Isabelle Huppert and the main actor, they got the award for Best Actor and Actress in Cannes Film Festival that year. So right off the bat, you can kind of guess that its acting is definitely one of the strongest part of this film. It was always supposed to be because that's how this film was actually built. Now, if I were to give a little backstory about this film is actually adapted from a German author's book, and subsequently in her life, she actually got a Nobel for it. So her work is actually like lauded very much. And Michael Haneke wanted to make this film for a long time, but through development hell, it kind of changed hands with a bunch of directors. And then when this film actually got in Michael Haneke's hand, he wanted to make it with Isabelle Huppert, but she wasn't available, and Haneke kind of wanted to, wait for her when Isabelle Huppert come, and he's gonna make that film. Then subsequently he wrote the screenplay and gave it to her, and then this whole film come together. Now the point of me telling so much history or backstory about this film is, this film, you kind of have to know what you're getting into. I know a lot of people talk about like going into a film blind and not knowing anything, and people don't like to spoil things. Yeah, I get it. There are a lot of people out there who don't like spoilers, but I myself personally have never been that much afraid of spoilers. I have been also kind of one of those people in the camp that if you know ending of something, then it kind of builds up the anticipation and it makes the thing good. This is actually kind of scientifically researched, so I have never actually bothered with scientific research or not. But this film, I kind of actually confused because there was another film by Jane Campion, The Piano, and then there's Roman Polanski's Pianiste. So a lot of pianist, and kind of sort of highbrow art films going on around here. I kind of thought that it was Jane Campion's film, but then I thought it's Michael Haneke's film. Okay, there's no problem. I knew about that. I knew about what I was getting into, but I have absolutely no idea what I was getting into, because this film is very different. On the surface, you can give it a whole bottom line that is the IMDb, and you can watch it. You can say it like that. This is a film. This is a film about an affair between a student and a piano teacher, which is essentially it is. But the thing is, this film is not that. And the book that actually haven't read that book. The book it was adapted from, that book had very similar tones and kind of very similar process to this film. I kind of guessed that this was also based off of a book, but I also knew that it was actually written by Michael Haneke and it's his screenplay. But when you see this film, it kind of feels like you are reading the book. It's like a very weird sensation where it feels like that the thing that's going in your eyes, you kind of are kind of leaping off of a page of something that you have never read. So it's a very different feeling. But at its core, it's definitely a foreign film, and it's a tough film. There are tough topics. There are taboo topics. There are like unnatural behaviors, and there are things of like some people might call it extreme sexual nature in sexually and physically. So you have to be aware of what you're getting into, because it's not a straightforward affair film or any kind of drama film. This film has hard-boiled things that you should be prepared for, and if you're in for it, or even if you have any idea what kind of film Michael Haneke makes, like his film Funny Games and Amor, you kind of have an idea what you're getting into, because Haneke makes a certain kind of films. So you should know about these things that you're getting into. That's why I've told you so much about this film. You should know this thing, and I would at point say that if you kind of want to get a general idea of the film, like what kind of film is this and what kind of things I'm talking about, you can Google it definitely. I'm not going to talk about it, but that might spoil for a lot of people. But in that way, I think you will get well prepared, and then you will have a much more enjoyable viewing rather than just caught off guard. I was caught off a little, but then subsequently the things kind of settled down for me. That's why I give this film 4 out of 5, and this is a strong film. The film is immaculately shot. The cinematography is quite beautiful. That's like saying the obvious, because Michael Haneke has always done things a certain way. There's nothing new to it. But if you have no idea what Haneke does or doesn't, I think this is one of the tamer ones to dip your toe into. And as a first time Michael Haneke viewer, you could definitely watch this film.